The Mariners keep getting injured left and right, but you know what? We just won a series. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Series Now episode of the Seattle Baseline Podcast. My name is Julian Smith, and I'm with Alex Hong. Alex, that was some dominant pitching performance. Aside from George Kirby in the second game, Logan Gilbert and Brian Wu just gave us exactly what we needed to make sure that we won that series. So that's awesome. Even though Julio Rodriguez and Randy Arozarena are injured and Luke Raley is not playing right now, seems like the Mariners are not too far off right now, and they can survive this onslaught of an injury stint from everybody. Like even Cal Raleigh, Josh Naylor, like everybody's been injured. So what's going on?
Yeah, look, Kirby's start wasn't even that bad because it was a quality start, right? But the thing is, with Gilbert and Wu's start, they single-handedly won us the game. Like we didn't like our offense has been struggling. Now they I understand why they're struggling. They have so many injuries where, we had to call up Connor Joe again. Like it's two scenarios where it's just not very good through all these injuries, but they're making it work, I guess, right? We're scoring a few runs. We scored like the 3 runs. Um, we scored 3 runs in each game, in every game. I just realized that. But yeah, we scored 3 runs in each game. That's good enough to win games where the pitching plays well. The pitching got to step up, and it did step up. Now in the second game, it's just unfortunate that we can't score more runs than that. But I'm not too mad about how the team played overall. This was very good. And we gotta give props to especially Wu and Gilbert because Gilbert, oh my God. Like, there's a lot of doubters on Gilbert, right? Early in the year, he was really struggling. He allowed 2 hits, 1 run, and 10 strikeouts. That was an amazing performance. And he went 7 innings. That's probably the most impressive thing. I had not seen Logan Gilbert go deep into games in a long time. So that was really nice to see.
Yeah, and like if you remember 2024 Logan Gilbert was this. He went 7 innings. He averaged over 6 innings. He was one of if not the he was the most dominant starter on the Mariners, and he was one of the most dominant starters in the league. And so when 2025 rolled around, we saw him go against the Athletics on opening day. Oh wow, 7 innings, just one homer. He's going to keep doing exactly what he did in 2024. Nope. He goes and gets injured, can't go over 5 innings, 10 strikeouts all the time, but he just couldn't get the innings. And this year he comes back. The start of the season, we see him go, oh, that's the same Logan Gilbert we saw in 2025, not the one that we saw in 2024. Then he makes the mechanical change a few starts ago. He says, hey, I'm going to stand taller and give more leverage on all of my pitches, and they're going to swing and miss at all the stuff I throw at them. You know what? That's exactly what they did. So in in this start, I think we saw exactly what 2024 Logan Gilbert did and what he's capable of. And that's been the case since a few starts ago. And if you look at his last 7 games, he's gotten an average of over 6 innings in the last 7 games. That's remarkable with a 2.53 ERA. And it all comes from his leverage because when the slider moves as much as it does downward, hitters are going to swing. Look at Mason Miller. This is exactly why he was dominant at the start of the year. People swing at the pitch that's going to hit the dirt because literally the ball is moving so far down that they can't catch up to it. They can't hit it because the fastball is always looming. And look at this start when he went 7 innings here. 57% of his throws were the fastball. That means that the fastball was always looming. The hitters couldn't catch up to it. Oh, I'm going to hit the fastball. Nope, splitter. Pull the string every time. Logan Gilbert looks fantastic right now, and I want him to keep doing exactly what he's doing because this is the Logan Gilbert I want to see.
Yeah, he looks a lot more like his 2024 self right now than his 2023 or than his 2025 self. which is really good to see because that 2024 year for Gilbert, like that, we kind of forget about how good he was that year. He was so good. And a very consistent thing with Gilbert is he gets a lot of strikeouts. He's like our best strikeout pitcher by far, starter, definitely. So I really like to see Gilbert, and it brings a lot more confidence back in him, right? So good things to see there. And I want to touch on Brian Wu real quick. He's really entered the Luis Castillo mode this season, but in an extreme measure. Like we always talked about in years past, how Castillo is more of like an inconsistent guy. Wu is literally gives up a lot of runs or gives up no runs. Like he is like this is pretty funny because the last start against the Orioles, right, was bad. He gave up like 7 runs. That was a really, really bad start. But then I remember his start against the Diamondbacks. He went 7 innings, no runs, right? And then he had that White Sox start where he had no runs as well, right? And there was definitely some other starts where he had no runs as well. But and then he had some starts where it was bad. So he's really entered that mode. I'm not exactly sure what to think of this right now. Last year it was nice to see Wu basically not give up runs in every single start, but I guess this is kind of the Wu we're dealing with this year, and it's still fine. Like in my eyes, like it's not like horrible. It's just like I would like more really good starts and maybe one bad start like a month or something, not every other one, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and with Brian Wu, he's been inconsistent because of his measures in when he doesn't have runners and when he does have runners. And I think just like we talked about last time, it's all about is it is it just that he's so inconsistent that on his bad days, clearly he has runners and therefore his runners in scoring positions numbers comes up, or is it because he's truly just the set position instead of the windup is just that bad for him? Because last year it wasn't, and clearly this year he's been knocked around when runners are in scoring position. I think that it's a mixture of both, but I think they do need to look at his set position because his set position is a different position than the windup. Clearly, that's when he gets knocked around the most. So I want the Mariners to definitely investigate on that. I think that's if Brian Wu can overcome that, and even with runners on, he can strike people out. That's the Brian Wu that we saw in 2025, and he'll keep doing exactly what he's doing. The pitchers look amazing, aside from bad starts from Wu and a couple this bad stretch from Kirby. Pitchers look great, and so that's the reason we won this series. And what about the offense? I think it's time to talk about Dom Canzone. I think right now is the time when we realize that this guy has been the absolute anchor of our offense, and he's continuously, time and time again, even though he's had some stretches where he's ice cold and some stretches where he's red hot, consistently in the past month, he's just been hitting and hitting and hitting and walking too. It's not like he's just swinging at the fences. He's walking too. And so he's seeing pitches like nobody else is seeing in the league right now. And I think he's one of the most underappreciated stars of the Seattle Mariners in 2026 so far.
Remember, he kind of struggled in the postseason. I think a lot of people forgot about how good he was last year. I always remember he was really good last year when he played. And this is shown like this year, oh my God, Dom Canzone, you went on another level. He is a 928 OPS. He's slugging like crazy. Now he only slugs when he gets against righties, admittedly, right? But we're at the point where we have so many injuries that we have to play Canzone against the lefties. And I want to see because how he does. And, I think it's been proven that Canzone has had no problem being able to get on base against lefty. He just can't slug. For whatever reason, he can't slug, and his slugging is always like 200 or 300 or something really low, right? So And I'm okay with that, right? Because his OPS still ends up being around 700. That's still fine with me. Considering the way our lineup is right now, that is perfectly fine with me. And we gotta just give him some more chances. I think he has way more better chances to do better than Luke Raley does. Canzone is way more proven track record against lefties than Luke Raley. So I think we got to keep giving him a shot and, see what happens because we really, really need it right now. But, Canzona got to give him a lot of props for how he's playing overall. He's been incredible, right? If he's been our best player against right-handed pitchers, definitely this season so far. So just really, really nice to see. Yeah.
Yeah, and like look at what Dom Canzone is doing. He slugs against righties. That's great. But against lefties, what he does is he gets on base. And you just mentioned that. I think over what the OPS number is, that's what the Mariners need because the Mariners are a team that hits a bunch of home runs, drives runners in. That means that if you're on base, then you're a massive asset to the Mariners team. And if so Dom Canzone in the 12 plate appearances that he's had as against the left-handed pitching has gotten on base almost half the time. It's 471. That means it's almost 500, and that clearly 1 out of 2 times he's getting on base. 1 out of 2 times he's directly contributing to someone's 2-run home run instead of 1-run home run. That walk means a lot more when it's driven in, and I think Dom Canzone against lefties actually fits the team exactly where he needs to. And I'd love to see him get more chances because even in 2025, he's done the same thing. He's walked a lot against the lefties and he's hit singles a lot. He just hasn't slugged yet. And I think that's something that he'll figure out after a little bit of time. But clearly, he has the ability to see the ball, know exactly where it's going, and he he has the ability to get on base however it looks like. And if he can see the ball that clearly, then it's only a matter of time before he drives one out of the ballpark, even against the lefty. So I want to see Dom Canzone against lefties. They've tried it on Luke Raley. Now it's time for Dom Canzone.
hmm All right. I think we should move on to the next series. Good win, good series win with our circumstances against Baltimore. We won the overall series throughout the year or throughout the last 2 weeks because we played them both in like a 2 week span. The Red Sox, right? They're up next. They're a very interesting team because, we thought they were going to be a little better than they are this year, and they haven't been very good. And it's mostly because their struggles on the offensive side. They have a few good players. Wilson Contreras, very, very good. He'll definitely be their all-star this year. Or at least he definitely should be like an all-star level player. Um, Wilyer Abreu, he's been good in the past. He's having a pretty decent year. Um, is it Cedon Rafaela?
Rafaela.
Rafaela. He's been pretty good this year too. Those three are the only offensive players who play regularly who are above average. Everyone else, bad. Trevor Story not even playing anymore. He's on the IL. Like this is a really, really bad offense. Like I've not seen an offense this bad since like maybe the 2021 Mariners. Like this is pretty bad. Julian, what other thoughts you have on the offensive side in particular?
Yeah. I think I expected Jaron Duran to be a little bit better as a player. He's their leadoff guy. I mean, that's the guy that they lean on, and he hasn't been that guy. I remember last year there were trade talks with the Seattle Mariners might trade for Jaron Duran, and clearly that's not the same guy that we're talking about. And so that's a big one for me. And I think for the Red Sox, Alex Bregman, his departure was pretty big. Like it,
Yeah.
I don't think it can be overstated how massive having a guy like Alex Bregman was for their lineup. And 2 years ago, I mean, we were just talking about Logan Gilbert in 2024. When they played in 2024, the Red Sox lineup was lethal. This was the lineup that like this was one of the best lineups in baseball. I remember looking at it and thinking, oh, they don't have many guys that are under 250 average. That's a pretty incredible lineup. And this year, clearly they don't have that anymore. Their pitching staff is actually pretty good, but they flipped the script a little bit. They went from being an offensive team to a completely pitching based team, and it's really confusing. But at the same time, I think it's an easier team to beat than 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's funny enough, it's not a pitching team because of the guy you would think, Garrett Crochet. He's not playing right now. He's injured, won't play. And he's been bad when he was playing earlier this year. I don't know exactly know what happened to him. Yeah, that makes that trade look a lot worse, I guess, for the Red Sox now. Not exactly sure what happened there. Um, but yeah, they we're against a few starters this coming time. Ranger Suarez, I have some fantasy implications with that guy, but he's been very good this year. Kennelly Early, he's been pretty decent this year as well. And then there's a guy I never personally don't know much to about him, but Peyton Toll, who is in the third game against Logan Gilbert, he's also been pretty good this year. He has an under 3 ERA. So these starters are pretty good, right? So it's not like we're against, batting practice out there in all these stars. We're against some pretty good pitching, which could, bode some struggles for our struggling offense right now. We're very struggling on the personnel. We don't have many players who can play right now, which could be a problem. So I think in this series, we're just gonna have to rely on our pitching having a very good performance. We're against a pretty weak offense, a few good players, right? Like I said, Wilson Contreras, who they got from the Cardinals, in the offseason. He's actually been a pretty good, like I guess Bregman type of replacement. They don't play the same position, but an offensive value. But overall, that offense, like we talked about, bad. So it's gonna have to be our pitching just gotta outperform theirs because I don't think our offense is gonna. I don't think we're gonna be winning like 10, like scoring 10 runs. They're scoring 9 runs. I don't think it's gonna be that type of game. I think it's gonna be the type of game we saw maybe against the Orioles, where it's not that many scoring, and you just gotta make the most of what you do. So I think that's how I see this series going.
Yeah, and so I want to touch on Peyton Toll because I think that's the one that's a little like, whoa, where did this guy come from for the Boston Red Sox? And so this is a guy that was one of their top prospects, and he's coming up. He's kind of like a Logan Gilbert type of guy without the heavy pitch mix. He has a 6'6" body, throws the fastball pretty fast. It's 95 to 97, touching 101 this year. And that's kind of what Logan Gilbert does. And he's the same type as Logan Gilbert because he's a tall guy that's going to get a ton of leverage and extend a long ways. So this is a guy that I think the Mariners need to watch out for. And clearly other teams have struggled against him because he has a sub 3 ERA. That's a pretty big indicator that other teams have not been able to hit this guy well. And the slider, he has a slider and cutter. Those are the two pitches other than his fastball that he uses. He doesn't have a big pitch mix, but the fastball is definitely his top weapon. And that fastball with the ride, it's a good pitch. So if the Mariners can pound the fastball, because he does really hit the strike zone a lot, if the Mariners can crush the fastball over the fence, the Mariners have a great chance at beating this guy. So I think the Mariners can win this series. It's not going to be easy as much as it seems like it, just because of the pitching, but I think the Mariners have it in the bag. The Mariners are definitely a better team than the Boston Red Sox this year in 2026, and I am excited to see the Mariners decimate this good part of their pitching staff too.
Yeah, and if you are going to the game on Friday, be very careful because they have the World Cup. Like the USA is playing in the stadium. So I actually don't know how many people. Like if you, unless I guess you're a ticket holder, if you chose this game to go to, maybe I might question some of the decisions. I feel like it might be pretty rough. So it'll be interesting. I'm very curious how many fans are going to be in the stadium that day, Julian. Because me personally, I would not be trying to deal with that traffic in that area that day.
I, I'd love I'd love to see like the Mariners broadcasters talk about the World Cup a little bit. I think that would be a pretty fun thing to talk about. And I'm definitely going to be texting my Australian friends that we are going to destroy them. Even though I'm like Team Japan, but I am also very much Team USA, other than Japan. So yeah, the USA is my second team. So great. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and our beautiful face on YouTube. Check out our Instagram. And as always, go Mariners.
Go Mariners.